Say the flame to shout, make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise, fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Let's BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night.
Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
Hey guys,
welcome back, episode 123.
That's right. 1, 2, 3. What's up, guys? This is your boy Leo from To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince. And here tonight, you count all three of us because sometimes we have real lives that we have to take care of. But anyways, guys, welcome back. We got a lot.
So I heard you say it's 1, 2, 3. Let's get to the point.
That's right. 1, 2, 3. Let's get to the point. We got a lot to talk about, Vince. Man, so much.
What you got, Leo?
Man, listen, I want you to inform me or tell me a little bit about this. What is this alligator Alcatraz or whatever that's going on and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I want you to
in Florida.
I want you to tell me a little bit about this.
Well, you were supposed to tell us about it, Leo.
Like, what is it? Like,
you were supposed to tell us about it.
That was it. Mike just had it on the screen there for a second.
Yeah.
I don't remember the hell.
I saw this and I didn't realize it already existed. I thought it was just something they were talking about doing.
Right.
And but they've already got this place and around the building. There's this big mass of water that goes all the way around.
For sure.
Like the old medieval castles where they would have water.
That's where I was going to go to, Vince. You totally read my bubble, man.
Filled with alligators. So if you got the balls to try to escape.
But then again, I mean, if you think about it, how many people do escape? You know, like I'm just people are just upset just to be upset about it. Like it is what it is. It's security. It's another way of security. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, like, and are you really going to try to escape? Because you know, if you escape, you're still going to be captured either or. You know, so this place, they're just pretty much just telling you. I mean, if you do escape, I mean, this is what's going to happen to you.
So
either you're going to be eaten or you're going to be shot. Either or, you pick.
It's more of a it's just more of a cool factor, I think, than anything. Like it just gets people.
It's just a redneck fucking thing.
It gets some of us excited, especially some of us.
Yeah, that is. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty badass. I mean, how did they come across this, or was this facility already up and running?
DeSantis, if you remember, a few months ago, said that he was going to, with the federal government's approval and help, they wanted to. I forget what it was. Our National Guard here in Florida were kind of like bestowed JP powers, like when it comes to like immigration judges,
right?
Those aren't like judges on the bench per se. Those are they're set up in regions and they make decisions on the fly. Well, DeSantis wanted to make our National Guard all like certified to do this on the fly, so they don't have to go through more channels, wait for federal government to whatever. So this kind of plays along into that. So this is within like a few months, not even a month. This place is ready for 3,000 inmates, and it's intended for.
What did you say it was used for?
Well, it was an aircraft training facility,
right?
And it's just out there in the middle of Everglades,
and it wasn't being used anymore.
No.
So they decided, hey, let's use it to cover, inmates and stuff like that.
I wouldn't mind going to see it.
I don't know.
If I'm in the area, I'm just pop in there.
Where's it at in Florida, right?
The Department of Defense continues.
This guy.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, they're going to use
against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Hey, that's where he's going.
Nothing's labeled all of a sudden.
He's going to prison.
No.
Yeah, we got a couple stories to talk about. This alligator Alcatraz, though, was a major one because Trump was just there yesterday for the grand opening, and there is.
So when they say grand opening, there's still no inmates in there right now.
No.
And how do they?
There might be today. I don't know. Here, let's play this video. I don't know where the hell it went, but let's go to it.
Construction is underway deep in the Florida Everglades on a massive migrant detention camp that state officials are calling Alligator Alcatraz. Starting next month, 5,000 migrants will be housed in trailers and heavy-duty tents at this remote, abandoned airfield.
As I call it, Alligator Alcatraz.
In a promotional video set to music, Florida's Attorney General lays out what he considers a deterrent for any potential escapees.
People get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons.
But some local officials warn the environmental impact could be devastating.
We have environmental and physical stewardship and safety concerns.
The Trump administration has said it wants to get up to 100,000 beds at detention centers across the country to facilitate mass deportations.
A lot of bad people were let into our country. We're getting them out, and we're getting them out fast.
The Department of Homeland Security says the new facility will cost about $450 million a year and will be reimbursed in large part by a FEMA program previously used to shelter migrants in places like this hotel in New York City. Do you think that this is a good idea for your home state?
Well, I 100% support the president's deportation efforts. It's the president's priority to get those individuals out of our country.
But immigrant advocates argue the money has not been set aside by Congress, and
the biggest concern is the grave inhumanity that seems to be at stake in terms of sending people to incredibly inhumane, brutal conditions.
An administration official tells NBC News that ICE currently has nearly 60,000 detainees in custody, a record.
Yeah, here's some video from inside one of those places. This is like a major tent, air conditioning. Like there was a ton of freaking people there yesterday. And I think I don't care. Like the optics, the perception is, we got our badass prison now too. And that's what Trump made this point not too long ago, like the El Salvador prison is great and all, but our prisons are what? Nothing to be scared of anymore.
No, a lot of people go to prison, they live better than they do out of prison. They got TV, they got they get food, water, they got a yard they can go lift weights and play in, and a library, and they got a whole infrastructure inside the prison. They work, make money, and buy cigarettes, and it's crazy what prison is here in America.
I wonder who's going to be the first inmate.
There won't like the first one to be pushed through the door.
Hopefully it's the commie from New York.
Probably just be some random.
Hopefully it's the commie from New York.
Who?
The guy that we talked about last week.
Oh, Nick.
The guy that's running for.
He won the Democratic primary.
The crazy Yahoo one.
Yeah, he wants the city to own grocery stores.
Did you hear? He said if he gets elected, he will not enforce any of Trump's laws against immigration. And Trump's response was, "Well, then we'll arrest you."
Yeah. All of our everything.
I don't know. I mean, it's just not going to be. My thing is just, I don't know. The news just puts out so much like fake thing. It's just not going to be for immigrants. It's going to be for not. It's not. This facility is not just for immigrants. It's for criminals. It's for everybody. It's for whatever you do. It's not just for one type of people or group. It's just the way they use these words in real news TV is they know how to hit those people right in the heart, right where it's soft, where they're soft, where they know they could get right underneath. Well, to tell you the truth, they tell them what they want to hear. So if they tell them this is purple, even though it's yellow, they're gonna still go and say, "Oh yeah, it is purple." So either way, they still hit them right where it hurts.
They're trying to drive more hatred than Trump,
right?
That's what it's
and
about.
I understand some stuff is not right, what's going on here and there and stuff like that, but they're only showing you the stuff that's sad. They're only showing you the stuff that's, like I said, right underneath your skin. They don't show you the other stuff that's going on, do they? No, they don't. Why?
Yeah.
Because they know exactly where to hit you so that you could get fired up and you could hit that thing and off you go. I mean, I'm just saying, like, My feed
No,
is
you're
my
absolutely right.
my feed, like my news feed on all my social media and platforms. I guarantee you, 100% is way different than yours.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, but I'm still a Hispanic.
Oh,
I'm still a Latino. I'm still who I am. I'm still Mexican. I'm still whatever it is. But how come my feed is different than yours feed?
Well, it's
all about
yes.
what you see and what I see. You know, so in a way, I'm grateful that I live where I live, just because I have the privileges of doing that. If you want to stand outside and yell and yahoo and scream and yell and do what you want to do, hey, go for it. Do it. You could do it here. That's why you are where you're at, because you are allowed to do these things. If you're in another country, they would not allow it. They would go right there, arrest you, and off you go, and it just wouldn't be allowed. Period.
Yeah.
You can't get out of line in another country.
No, you can't.
Without
you know?
paying the consequence.
Right. You can't. Here, if you want to go outside on State Road 60 or on State Road 20 or whatever and yell and scream all you want to do, hey, go for it. Do it. You're allowed to do it. You live in a country where you're allowed to do it. So go and do it. You know, like that's just why you live where you live, because you could do that. I'm just repeating myself because it's so true, man. Like I'm just grateful that I live where I live at. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't act like we do in foreign countries. That's for sure.
Oh man, you can't.
I mean,
can't do
a lot of free speech is considered hate speech
Yeah.
in places
Right.
like UK and Germany, and you
For
can
sure.
get thrown in jail for it.
Yeah, some of the people. We were talking about on another
That's
episode
just
in
cultural stuff.
Germany,
Yeah, for sure.
where people on social media will say something against who leads Germany right now. I have no idea.
Angela Merkel, I believe.
So you go on social media and talk about Angela
Right.
negatively or in some way that could be deemed harmful towards her in any way. They'll come take your phones away is a possibility.
Well, I mean, they did that here.
Or they'll throw you in jail.
They did that here.
Well, they just block us.
I mean, in the last administration and the one before that not Trump's, but the one before
We
his,
get
they
blocked.
were spying on parents going to school board meetings.
Yeah.
Right.
They were doing that same shit here. Like we were living in like we look back at the kind of shit people had to live through leading up to the Second World War. And I'm not saying the nasty shit. I'm talking like in Nazi Germany as that was transitioning. They are kind of living through the same thing we are now, where we're like, wait a minute, we've gone way too far left. We need to steer it, and now some people want to steer it too far right to overcorrect, and that's where you get the radical right.
Could you imagine?
It's radical both sides, but
for sure.
There's the division, like Leo nailed it. Like when they hit on the emotions is where they can drive a divide, and that's how they keep us occupied.
Could you imagine that here right now, though, with all the negativity that they talk about Trump, all the social media, all the fake BS they put out about Trump? That they'd all be gone. They can't do that in Germany. It's not allowed.
No, it's not allowed. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm
you
grateful.
Can't do that.
I'm
stuff.
grateful that we live where we live at.
In some ways, but in some ways, it's like that. Like the lying that we get on. I don't think that our TV should be. They should be able to go on there like news channels like CNN and just make shit up that's not true and push the narrative. That I don't think should be allowed.
Right.
There's nothing can be unlimited. I don't think there's anything that is good that comes unlimited. There's got to be.
Like
there's
free
got to be.
speech, you shouldn't be unlimited.
No, you shouldn't be able to go on. You should not be able to go on CNN and say whatever you want.
You should be able to lie.
Right. You shouldn't be able to lie and say things that you know aren't true, but you can. They're doing it.
Yeah, well, for sure. And now it's being exposed. What else we got? Let's go. By the way, I was scrolling our company page, IRC Media, on X. Give us a follow if you don't already follow that. And you can follow us on X also at tothepoint.com. That's DOTCOM. And all the other major platforms, including IndianRiverConnections.com website. You can watch our videos from YouTube. But IRC Media is our company page, and it's kind of, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're finding our way. But right here is actually, you mentioned, we brought up the wacko from New York.
Right.
And here's one of the headlines.
What's his name?
I don't know. I'll click on it in a second. Oh, Zoran Mamdani.
Mamdani. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to be the first one.
He wants, he's the front runner. He probably is going to win, to tax whiter neighborhoods. And
what?
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I don't.
Oh man, Vince, today, man.
Let me switch this over. What are you switching
What's that,
gears
Leo?
here or what?
No. Just today is when was it? They're opening it today, aren't they?
What's that?
The Alligator Alcatraz. Is that what its actual
we
name
gotta
is?
shift gears from that.
I know.
Still on that.
Well, because I'm thinking that if he goes
This
there,
is who needs to go there. You're
yeah,
right.
that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
he goes there, like if he's gonna be the first one to be there, you know.
Sorry for the white screen. I'm not.
No, you good.
The labels got screwed up, but yeah, this is socialist mayor candidate Zoran Mondani under fire for plan to tax richer and whiter neighborhoods. Last week we played a video of what he made about the city is going to own grocery stores and they're gonna pass on the cost to suppliers. And
He's from New York, right?
Well, he's only been here a few years.
Socialism.
He's only been an American citizen for a couple of years.
Right.
I mean, we can look him up, but I'm pretty sure it's less than 7 years.
Yeah.
This guy has been an American citizen and he was raised actually in Africa. And he's got strong ties to Hezbollah. I mean, this is the kind of shit you don't think would happen, but here we are. New York has this freaking malfunction, and all of us, the days of a Republican running New York City are gone. Rudy Giuliani was the last, I believe.
Right.
And you'll never see it again, and it's sad because the city was never better than it was under Giuliani, and
for sure
they had a hard stance on law and order. But we've got people like this guy, De Blasio, the guy right now, Adams, he's under fire from the Democrats. He's a Democrat, but he's running as an independent, and he's probably going to lose. But he was, their pride and joy until he said, the city can't handle this many immigrants. We need to stop bringing them here, send them somewhere else. And that pissed off his base, and it was during election season also. So all of a sudden, he was indicted like 4 days later on some bullshit charges, like they went after Trump. So Trump kind of felt for him, and it's come out in his favor, but he's probably not going to win the election. It's probably going to be this guy.
So?
Yeah, and I heard a staggering number. If you Google, somebody correct me if anybody's watching, but if you Google this or Chat GPT it, the amount of Muslims that hold elected office in the United States.
How many?
Google that, and you tell me. It's not a feel good number. I'll tell you that, and I can't remember the exact number offhand. But if somebody Googles it, let me know if you Google it, Leo. But I'll probably put it in the chat if you're there. But it's not.
How many? What, Mike?
How many Muslims hold elected office in the United States? Not saying Muslims are all.
How
bad.
many Muslims hold office in the United States? Tell me here in a minute.
Leo's got an old phone.
Yeah, my bad. Still works though. Look, watch. Just go give me the information.
What you got?
Nothing.
Still
yet.
looking?
To be fair, my phone doesn't get good internet out here.
Now, the number I heard was like covers everything from like school boards.
No Muslim has ever served in the U.S. Senate. Not yet.
Is that all I gave you?
Yeah.
All that. For
Well,
that?
I did it through Chat GPT because that's what I was up at the moment.
You got a Chat GPT?
Yeah.
Look at us all.
In 2020, there were 71. In 2020, there were 71. Let me see how many there is now.
How many?
71 in 2020.
71 in 2020. I got in 2022 over 80 Muslim Americans won local, state, and federal seats, including judicial positions across 25 states. This
Yeah,
marked a significant increase from previous years. The number of Muslim Americans holding office continues to grow, with a record number elected in 2022 midterm elections.
Yeah, mine came up with 82 in 2022.
Yeah, so I mean, and this is how things change. As they, culture gets in, and they just, they go on, they move on. Real quick, coming up in September, we have Warrior Shield weekend coming up. They have the September 5th, 6th, and 7th. If you watch Dale and Jim and Two Guys One Coup, they promote this. This is like their thing. And they'll be doing a podcast there that Friday and a Saturday, I believe. I don't know, but we plan on being there in some form or fashion on Friday. Possibly to do a show, maybe sitting with them for a few minutes or whatnot. But I'm definitely going to the concert. If you're a vet or a first responder, I believe you can get into that concert for free, and you have to have credentials. You, not your whole family, but you. And I don't know, if you pay attention to them and their specials they do like once a month on Wednesdays. They run a deal. If you have a special shirt from Grit Gear, you'll get in discounted stuff like that. So Grit Gear is a great company also for the concert. If you're not, if you don't qualify for the free one, but it's cheap anyways. The concert's like $50. No, September 5th. Yeah, it's like $50, and it's got a bunch of patriotic, independent creators, country music stars. I never get the names right. So I'm never
play the thing for them real quick, Mike.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Play the commercial for them real quick. We'll see you guys in.
Warrior Shield Foundation is here to unite, honor, and provide support for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members. The foundation will enable them to find the help they need through direct assistance or by connecting them with our shared vision network. Using data-driven models, we provide solutions that make a long-lasting difference. We, along with our partners, are dedicated to bringing together like-minded groups and individuals who have committed to making a difference in the lives of our hardworking, everyday heroes. We bridge the gap by connecting warriors or their families with the assistance they deserve and require, such as service dogs, wheelchairs, counseling, scholarships, and team-building retreats, to name a few. You can help right now to make a difference for those who have helped and protected us all. Warrior Shield Foundation, selflessly doing for those who need it most.
It's a long way to home, but you won't take the hard road all alone. Just look to your left and look to your right. You were born to fight.
There we go. We're back. Yeah, I wanted to change the screen right here and take us to the other story.
But anyways, yeah, I'll probably be there, Mike. I'll show up. I don't know if I'll show up to the concert or whatever, but I'll show up with the guys over to
we might as well go to the concert.
You think so?
Yeah, might as
but
well.
didn't you say Dale and Jim are going to be doing a podcast that day though?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just before the concert.
See, that's where I want to go. I want to go hang out with Jim and Dale and shoot the shit a little bit with them on the mic for a little bit, and let them know what's up, and that we're here always support them. Whatever they need, they got our backs.
Like just like them, we have never served for sure. We definitely hold a deep respect for those who have,
for sure,
and definitely support Warrior Shield, and that's what they do. They every year they throw their full weight support and fundraising capabilities behind a special other charity that helps only first responders or vets. So it's a great organization. Check them out. And $50, and then there's like an auction and a gala, for some cool patriotic stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. But as you can see up on screen, P. Diddy. It came out yesterday that they were in a partial. They couldn't settle on a full verdict. They only had a partial verdict. The judge said no, go back. So now they come back, and they acquitted P. Diddy on most of those charges that included trafficking and stuff like that, the RICO. So there was talk about he was going to walk free today, but apparently they didn't let him go until the sentencing for these other charges. And, of course, I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
I haven't really followed it a whole lot, but from what I've heard, it sounds like there was overwhelming evidence that he'd been doing some stuff. Now, whether or not it lines up with everything he's been charged with, I don't know, because I haven't really followed the case. But a few of my friends that have paid attention to it that I've talked to say that he definitely deserves jail time.
Yeah, so he was acquitted of the RICO and sex trafficking charges. His defense team took a victory lap during a press conference following the verdict. His lead counsel, Mark, I can't say that last name, boasted that the team wasn't going to stop until Diddy walks out a free man to his family. We're not nearly done fighting. We're just getting started. To win this and to defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end. Today was a major, major step in the right direction, but we fight on and we're going to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of the prison a free man to his family. There's a lot of there's a divide in the community also, because there were stars like Queen Latifah, definitely, 50 Cent. If you follow the story at all, 50 Cent was all about throwing the book at P. Diddy, because he's been blowing the whistle on that for a while.
Could you imagine how 50 Cent right now is sitting in the back just like,
damn, like all the testifying, everybody that testified. And that's what Queen Latifah was like, all the victims that just, now just got discounted.
If he's out loose, now 50 Cent's got to be looking over his shoulder all the time,
Yeah, well, it turns out that the lead prosecutor in this case is James Comey's daughter. James Comey was the corrupt FBI director before Christopher Wray. He was the one who investigated Hillary and the smashed laptops, the smashed hard drives, and said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong here." He was the one who's supposed to charge her, and of course, deep state. Yeah, he's a deep state traitor. So, that's his daughter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, and I mean, there's not just because you're related to somebody doesn't mean you're guilty. We know actually relatives of James Comey, and they're great people, but it's kind of weird, She also was the prosecutor in the Epstein files. So both times that we know of, she's prosecuted high profile trafficking cases with the coincidence is neither cases had anybody that they trafficked to. So what was her actual deal? Was her deal to sabotage this from the get-go? Same with Epstein, and same with the Giselle Maxwell. There's no they've got victims, but where did they traffic these people to? There's no Does or John Does or whatever you call them. So it's kind of, it's a little fishy here. We got other video. I mean, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, there's the other side of it is a lot of people have been saying from the get-go that he's just been a scapegoat.
President
been a distract.
with robust options regarding
captured on multiple cameras shows Combs assaulting his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only
Yeah, that's where the video.
Yeah, there you go. Y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
Yes, we applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
Yeah. Hey, what up, my President Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Trying to make a change.
Hope and change. What happened?
Hey, it is what it is, man. Like I said,
it is
I'm glad that we live where we at, and they both got to live an experience that they were both okay with. You know, so hey,
what are you talking about?
It is what it is.
Barack. Well, I mean, he was president.
I know, but
did he what? He got to have freak offs, 4-day long freak offs.
Who knows? They might have. Who knows? We don't know. We'll never know.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
But that's what they're saying, though. Plenty of people testified that these things went on,
right?
And victims have testified, and their stories have been collaborated, or like confirmed, and it still wasn't enough. There was one guy that was on the Benny Johnson show, and he was claiming that somebody on the jury pool must have been tainted, because he's got P. Diddy has got his web spread so far, and he's out, and he was saying he even tried it with his wife and his 8-year-old son to turn him against him, and then have him take the blame for something. And it's just, he's like one step ahead of everybody. It's pretty sickening, though, how they hold their power over some people who are trying to get ahead.
I don't know how true it is. Again, I haven't followed it real closely, but supposedly at one point during the trial, from what I heard, they had to tell P. Diddy to stop doing something. He was like, I don't know, he was like winking or doing something to one of the jurors, and he had been seen doing it several times, and they actually had to tell him to stop doing it. And that's what people were saying, that he was kind of like winking at him, letting him know. He's like, that threat that came into your family? Yeah. That was, that's coming from me, kind of deal. Something like he's doing something to help sway this one individual that was on the jury.
Yeah, probably. It's like those people that were doing sending people to different houses or whatever, just to letting them know that they're being an attack or
they're
something.
About to be swatted.
Yeah, swatted or something like that. Yeah, same shit. It's all a circle.
So did you guys see the shit that happened the other day? And where was it?
Who?
I forget where. Here it is. In Idaho. But when I click on this link for Newsmax, it doesn't take me to the article anymore.
Huh.
There it goes. Let me see. What do we got showing here? I wish I can change this easier. This is sorry, again, getting tired of StreamYard. Arsonist.
Right.
They set a fire. Arsonist who killed 2 Idaho firemen was asked to move vehicle. I don't understand what all that was about. But a man who set a wildfire and then fatally shot 2 firefighters and wounded another in northern Idaho was a 20-year-old transient who attacked the first responders after they asked him to move his vehicle, a sheriff said Monday. Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris offered new details about the Sunday ambush, and I want to make sure that was up there. At Canfield Mountain, just north of Coeur d'Alene, I don't know, a popular recreation area. He said the suspect, Wes Rowley, was living out of his vehicle, had once aspired to be a firefighter, and had only a handful of minor contacts with area police. This was the guy that was like sniped him, I thought. See, maybe this is why the original article was taken down, because I thought there was a total different story. This goes along with what you said. Sometimes that story comes out early and it's totally wrong.
I remember seeing this story on one of my feeds, and it was more like this. I don't recall any sniper, but I know he shot him.
Yeah, we do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush and it was intentional. Norris said at a Sunday night news conference, these firefighters did not have a chance. A shelter-in-place order was lifted Sunday night after a tactical response team used cell phone data to hone in on a wooded area where they found the suspect's body with a firearm nearby as flames rapidly approached. So he must have killed himself, or unalived himself. Sorry, YouTube. Investigators said he acted alone. Sheriff's officials said crews responded to a fire at Canfield Mountain just north of Coeur d'Alene around 1:30 p.m. Sunday, and gunshots were reported about a half hour later. 3 victims were brought to Kootenai Health Hospital, spokesperson Kim Anderson said. 2 were dead on arrival, and the 3rd was being treated for injuries, Anderson said. The wounded firefighter was fighting for his life after surgery and was in stable condition. The scene was sheer pandemonium as the brush fire burned and firefighters rushed to the scene only to come under heavy fire. Literally like bullets. First responders made urgent calls for help on their radios. Everybody's shot up here. Send law enforcement now, according to one dispatch. Idaho Governor Brad Little said multiple firefighting personnel were attacked. This was a direct assault on our brave firefighters, Little said on X. That's weird. I ask all Idahoans to pray for them and their families as we want to learn more. So I guess they found him dead. I remember the sheriff coming out saying, if anybody's got a clear shot on the guy, kill him. Because they couldn't do anything without somebody getting shot, man. Can you imagine that? It's not the first time.
No.
Like firefighters or first responders have been targeted in instances like that.
That's crazy, man. You know, that is sick. That's rotten.
It is. It's pretty screwed.
And what is it?
What is what?
Who was the person that was shooting at him? What ethnicity?
I don't even know.
I don't think they even really brought it up. But he, just probably crazy.
White.
He had supposedly wanted to be a firefighter himself.
Be white.
Because it's not all over the fucking Fox News or CNN.
Well, it was.
I'm just saying, it's just fake. Like I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like, but there you go again. Like, see, I didn't see it on my feed. You know what I'm saying? Like, your feed is different than my feed,
and it disappeared quick.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like I'm glad that I live where I live. You know, because it's like, hey, what's going? Seeing Musk right there. What's going on with their breakup?
Again,
man, like. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a like in Spanish we call it a telenovela. Like I feel like I'm in a soap opera, man. Like I'm waiting for the next episode to see what's gonna happen, and just staying up late at night, see what the fuck Trump is gonna tweet about his girlfriend breaking up or whatever. It's like,
Musk is very outspoken about this big beautiful bill.
Yeah, what's up with
Trump
that? Talk to me, Mike.
Well, he's upset because it raises the debt ceiling,
right?
And I don't blame him.
Too much spending,
right? But at the same time, Trump needs to get some of these things codified.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand playing the game
right
to get the shit done.
Okay, he's smart enough.
We're going to have to include a lot of people in on this to get the votes.
He's smart enough to know if he goes out and just tries to full out do what Elon Musk wants to do,
it'll never pass.
It'll never pass. It's barely going to maybe pass right now.
And nothing of his will pass.
Right.
That means nothing because this will codify some stuff that have been included in executive orders.
Right.
But like I said, everybody's wants their cut of the pie. So the subsidies go through the freaking roof. Like there's extra subsidies for Alaska and Hawaii.
Right.
You know, and it's just like
one of the things Musk has come out and said that he wants to do. Somebody else originally said this, and Musk said that he would support it. He thinks it's a good idea. It might have actually been Bernie Sanders of all people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he wanted to, if Congress can't balance the budget, they lose their job. So if we go further in the deficit this year, that all the Congress has to be replaced.
Yeah, it would take an act of Congress
who,
to change the Constitution.
Right. Who's going to vote that in? Congress isn't going to vote that in. So come on. I mean, Musk, you can't. That's not feasible. It's not going to happen.
But he knows he has a platform and he runs his mouth. And, you know,
enough people hear it and want to push for it, but still, I don't see Congress ever voting in
but
a
Trump
bill that would take their job away from
Trump
them.
played soft with him for a few days, and then Musk didn't let up again on Twitter. And Trump was just like, listen, he's upset because there's going to be no EV mandate, which means less people will be getting electric vehicles unless they want them. And not just that, a lot of subsidies that go to Tesla and SpaceX will be cut. He's like, he's like the only human that gets the most subsidies one way or another for his companies. Yeah, because he's got big companies. But
and there should be no mandate to force people to go to electric cars. I'm sorry, that's wrong.
Now, Musk says he was never for that, but I mean, I know it's about the spending and the deficit, but all of a sudden, Musk is worried about this shit.
Right.
You know, so I appreciate Musk. I like him.
Me too.
I think he's brilliant and I admire what he's done. But at some point, you just got to shut the hell up, dude.
Right.
Like,
so
we're still got to try to get something done in the next couple, in the next month or two, because midterms are coming up in a year.
You got to look at what's real. You got to look at what's realistic. You can't shoot for the stars and come up swinging and getting nothing.
Right. So my next question was going to be, so our next election is going to be 2028, right?
Mm-hmm. No, 2026 presidential. Yeah.
Presidential.
Yeah.
Presidential.
But midterms are even more important.
Right. So, who do you guys think is going to be in that? Those the ones that you were just talking about. Those the midterm ones.
I know some people. Are you
who's going to run?
Yeah. Well, are you leaning towards like maybe Elon maybe running?
No,
but he's not eligible.
No, and I don't think he should be eligible for
me either.
I'm just saying, like, who do you guys will run against Trump?
Should be eligible for any elected office, and I think every elected position should be a constitutional position that's sworn in the Constitution.
Now,
I'll take that back. They're not going to run against Trump unless he makes it to run a third term.
Well, the real question is who is going to be backed by Trump to be his successor?
Well, him, and who's going to be his opponent? I want to know who the opponent is going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
because
AOC,
listen,
Gavin Newsom,
I know my thing.
Sanders.
Right, my thing is because you know how a lot of people are really upset right now.
As well, I mean, who he's going to back to replace him?
It's
probably going to be JD Vance.
Right, but who's going? Okay, but then who's going to run against JD Vance?
Probably DeSantis.
You think this, and then who's going to be on the left side?
Gavin Newsom.
You think so?
AOC, maybe Jasmine Crockett, possibly others like right now AOC is blowing them all out of the water.
Right.
But Gavin Newsom, boy, he's trying to attack Trump and
is he?
Well, I mean, Trump bitch smacked him. He took over his National Guard. Like, imagine saying, no, you have your own army, right? And then this guy coming and saying, no, I'm taking your army away from you. You don't deserve your army, and I'm putting them to work. And that's pretty much what he did when it came to the riots. Because Newsom wasn't doing anything about it. It was leaving it up to state and local police in LA. Trump was like, no, we're not going to have another summer of love. They're not going to burn down your city under my watch.
Right.
If you're not going to do it, I'm going to fix it. So he commandeered, or whatever it's called, the state's National Guard, and deployed California's National Guard to the city. And Gavin Newsom blamed everything on Trump after that. Wildfires, because these people would have been fighting wildfires, this or that. And it's like, they're doing nothing, so now they've all gone back, I'm pretty sure. But, that's how you handle a riot, though. You shut it the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When a protest turns into a riot, it's not permitted anymore.
Yeah, like once you get on the streets, it's different. Like it's okay if you're on the sidewalk, do your thing, Like, but once you start shooting them, But once you start being obnoxious and doing these other things that you know you're not supposed to do, like you're a human being, you're not stupid. I know you're not stupid. None of y'all are stupid unless you act stupid. Then you're stupid, you know. But
I disagree. There are some stupid people though, Leo.
Vince, they're just acting stupid, man.
There's some that are really just that ignorant, like they don't even know. Like there are some people that are just that stupid. Not most of them.
Stupid,
most of them, you're right. You're 100% right, Leo.
No,
most of them
are
acting stupid.
They're acting stupid because they're just trying to see what the fuck they could get. Excuse me. They're just trying to see what they're trying to get out of somebody. They're trying to do the less work. They're trying to do anything that they can do, bare minimum, just to get by.
But if you're going to do something like that and you don't know what the possible consequences are, that you're stupid.
Okay, Vince.
You should know what's coming.
Okay, Vince. So watch. An incident happened to me today, right? I'm leaving the store, right? So somebody behind me is being such an ignorant person, right? Literally just ignorant, right behind me, right?
Oh, was it Mike?
No. It was just person who was just so ignorant right behind me. But then she was with her kids, right? So her kids were seeing everything that this mother was doing and was saying, right? So the kids are going to grow up doing the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So knowing that it's not right, these kids know it's not right what's happening right now. But then there you go, they're just going to act stupid and say, well, my mother did it when we were kids, so we're just going to get away with it.
If they watch their parents doing it all the time, do they know it's not right? I mean,
They know
some
it's
of them
not
do.
right. They know it's not right.
Some of them do, but
they know
some
it's
of
not
them,
right because when they go to school or they go other places, they don't see other people doing the same thing. They'll say, oh, well, my mom doesn't do that. Oh, my dad doesn't do that.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
I was
we don't do that at our house.
I was with Leo. It's funny you said that, Vince. I was with Leo.
Yeah.
The person. It was at a store where you have to go through the exit line, and this person just felt entitled, like they don't have to stop. It's just a courtesy, like and we were in their way.
Yeah,
and it was just
we were like literally in their way, and we were like, well, we know what the process is to get past these gates. Yeah. So she got offended. She got kind of offended when Mike told her, well, we know what the process is.
Yeah,
and we're doing it. And she's like,
obviously you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and she's like, well, it says it's a courtesy. You could just walk
I'm
through
sure
it.
Mike said it that nicely too.
No, I kept my cool because
because of the kids.
Yeah, there's kids there.
And we're out in public and
right. It's not the right thing you do. You're not stupid. Right. My mom always said, if you got nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. That right there tells me, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna say it. Because it's just. What right is right and what's wrong is wrong. You're not going to live your whole life. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Come on, man. Seriously? I don't know. I guess they didn't grow up when we grew up. And you did something wrong, boy. They smacked you right across wherever you were at. They didn't care where you were at.
Oh, now you do that. You got to worry about
cops
coming knocking at your door.
Boy, if you don't get out of here, you're going to get an ass whooping with this belt too, boy. It's just... I don't know. We're just glad that here we go again. I'm glad that I live where I live, because if not, who knows?
Yeah, who knows what it would be like.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. It's like the news, you can't keep up with it. And I think the major issues are this big beautiful bill they had to make some concessions before it passed, but it did pass. They got petty about it. Schumer made them change the name. They didn't even change the name. They just struck out a few words from the name. Right. So now it's just, instead of called the Big Beautiful Bill Act, because that's what the front page said, referred to as the Big Beautiful Bill Act. Chuck Schumer had them strike out Big Beautiful. So now it's labeled and referred to as the Act.
Big Beautiful.
Yeah, without Big Beautiful. Yeah. It's just the Act.
The Act.
And they got real stupid about it. And I do want to see less spending. I want to see that debt clock move back. I really had hoped that we could see that with a full steam ahead Doge, but it just seemed like that was just a phase, and there's other things I'm disappointed at when it comes to the Trump administration. And we all know my love for Pam Bondi is not very strong. And maybe my expectations are a little too high, but I believe we should see more shit when it comes to Epstein and all these other files that were released. It's just smoke and mirrors. It's everything we already freaking knew already.
Yeah.
Except there might be a little more evidence to back it up. And then where is it at now? Like if there was really something in the Kennedy files, the Kennedy assassination, we'd still be talking about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there would be investigations still to this day, but there's nothing. And then you've got characters like Epstein and P. Diddy, and you just, with the same connected somehow with that continuity, like look at the prosecutor, Comey, and Comey's daughter, and it's just, and Pam Bondi's got connections too, to P. Diddy and to Epstein, and in one way or another. And I'm not making accusations, but there's been speculation out there. If you follow Laura Loomer on X, she blows a whistle on a lot of people. I don't know if she covered the Pam Bondi thing or not, but I want to believe she's doing everything she can to give us everything she can, but it doesn't look like it, but
one of my biggest gripes is you brought it up in the past, Mike, where some of this stuff that Trump's writing in, changing things, but they're not writing it into law. They're not locking this stuff in. So you mentioned it a few weeks ago. All it takes is whoever replaces Trump in office next, a swipe of a pen, and it's all undone. Just like last time when Biden took over. When Biden took over, swipe of a pen, it was all changed, and we got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got Congress. Time like now to get this shit done.
But they're not, because you have people like Tom Tillis who will not run for re-election. I believe he's a senator, and he opposed this, and he's opposed Trump on a few different levels, and Trump went after him. And they vowed to primary him. And he come out the other day. He's not going to run for re-election. He's just not going.
Where is Biden now?
What's up, John?
There's John.
John from TGI
Fake
now.
Biden, right? Can you hear that cricket or whatever the hell that is?
Yeah, I definitely hear it.
Yeah, that's not a sound effect. That's a pet.
That's a pet.
That's
or was that the duck? Or was that a duck?
I don't know. We get some
sounded kind of like a duck.
Giant ass crickets or lotus or something.
Locust, yeah.
They're like size of your freaking hand. You got to hit them with a 22 because a BB gun won't take them down. But yeah, we get some of them out here too. Now that we've got more herbs and vegetables, yeah, it's my live audience. They're crickets,
right?
It's kind of like our OnlyFans.
Yeah,
it's
OnlyFans.
Leo used to have an OnlyFans.
I used to have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's John Karapi from TGI Now podcast and IRC Media. Check them out on X. Make sure you follow them there. Follow them on Facebook.
They're live on Tuesdays at 8:00.
And you can follow them also at IndianRiverConnections.com, where you can find other great content. We're brushing up at 53 minutes, but I do have another clip that was just sent in, and it was a reaction to the alligator Alcatraz that we keep referring back
it's
to.
Pretty badass facility. I mean, they can use it to whatever they want to use it to, which they're gonna use it for whatever. They're just saying they're gonna use it for one particular purpose, but it's gonna be used for all kinds of inmates and stuff like that,
And here we have CJ from the Spark Free Press and Shadow.
Hey, what's up, CJ?
The narrative in the comment section.
Thanks. What's up, CJ?
It says after July 4th.
Let's link up.
After July 4th, rivers and lakes are about to start being sprayed with an extremely toxic chemical called, I'll pronounce that wrong, in Connecticut, with plans to go nationwide. Stick Dr. Fugazi there. Yeah, an alligator Alcatraz, definitely. And same with the commie from New York and the commie from Connecticut. Which it seems to be breeding
Dr. Fauci.
We should maybe consider some of these New England states trade off for like Alberta, Canada, or something.
Maybe we can put some of these Dems in there too that deserve to go, like Pelosi and
so this is
Hillary Clinton.
So CJ got CJ. So for some of the people who may tune in or may be watching that know I come from Connecticut, our family comes from Connecticut. CJ got him a little taste of Connecticut over the last month and had an altercation. It gets physical with political workers and campaign officials sometimes, and CJ got a little bit of that. They were up there to expose some fake Republicans in their executive committee with Logical Conservative and Able Child. They did a couple podcasts, but shattering the narrative to expose this. And Connecticut's pretty freaking sick when it comes to politicians. I haven't come across any of them that are trustworthy, and it's same with here. I mean, up there it's all Democrats, so you know what you get, right, and you know how to win up there. Down here, same thing. It's all Republicans, and you know how to win down here. So if you don't vet your candidates, your local candidates, and really put them to the test of the Constitution when it comes to these red states and red counties, you're going to end up with rhinos. And Connecticut is it's Democrat ran. It's a blue state through and through, even though people should have waken up by now because it's one of the most overtaxed states in the nation. And it's really horrible up there. CJ is exposing something else here. Connecticut is about to poison its own lakes and rivers with a highly toxic chemical called diquat, and it seems like no one knows about it. It's actually a coordinated plan that they're about to roll out in states all over the country. Yeah, even where we're at, CJ, I'm a little concerned, and I wouldn't mind some local coverage just to educate people, because we'll see. If you're anywhere near the canal systems or even sometimes out by the river, you'll see these cities or companies spraying these canals and ditches, and whether it's to kill weeds or mosquitoes, and it's like, what is it going in? Because everything we're told and taught around here is that all water sources lead to the river, and that's the river's been beat up. Actually, it's the Indian River Lagoon, and over the years since the 70s, it's been tortured with like a clamming migration. Like you talk about a gold rush. The river was attacked by people from out of here, like that capitalized on the clamming industry back in the 70s, and it just destroyed the river. Now you have municipalities up and down the Indian River Lagoon in Central and South Florida that are dumping sewage and even inland spraying canals and old orange grove drainage areas. All this ties into the river and ties into your groundwater. While we're all worried about fluoride being added to tap water that really is only used for brushing teeth and making coffee, maybe, they're spraying the ground with enough poisons. And I learned an interesting fact, or maybe it's not a fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to GMO stuff, you think you want stuff that's not genetically modified, but I heard the counter to that is these things are already they're genetically modified to block the absorption of the chemical in Roundup. You go and get non-GMO stuff, that doesn't mean Roundup hasn't been used in the vicinity and it's absorbed it now. So it's kind of like a counter campaign and counter psyop, and people they buy into it. Non-GMO stuff. I don't want nothing genetically modified either. But, if it wasn't for, what was it, the Romans genetically modifying cauliflower, we wouldn't have broccoli.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I found out the other day, or not the other day, but broccoli. Mike, I think you were the one who told me,
we make that. What do we got here? Pelosi bought a bunch of baby oil stock since Daddy's verdict. I don't have the video. I was going to actually show video of outside the courtroom when the verdicts were read, and it was literally a trap fest. It looked like, you remember here in our town a couple years ago where they were dancing on the cop car. Yeah. They were twerking. It was just like that, except they were using baby oil out in front of the courthouse, and there were animals out there acting like fools. What else do we got here? Jonathan Burrows for Congress, a 5th District of Connecticut, is a decent candidate that may go up against the system. Look him up. Got to get him out there, man. There's a lot of people in Connecticut. I don't know if any of them could be convinced. I really don't know. After years and years and decades of being taxed to death and watching your tiny little state almost be as bad as California,
right?
It's sickening, man. I really have a disdain for Connecticut, and it's not just because I lived there at one point. It's like because I lived there, we've kind of watched it over the years just go to shit.
Right.
So yeah, let me play this video. I don't know if we're in the right layout because things got rearranged and this came in later, but here is an unhinged liberal. Of course, we love unhinged liberals. Let's see if I can get this to work.
I need somebody to tell me that I'd not just walk upstairs and see a clip on the news talking about Alligator Alcatraz, a prison camp that they're building in the Everglades in Florida to throw immigrants into. Truly, what the fuck is happening when they're in the middle of construction of a prison camp in the fucking Everglades to throw immigrants into, which by the looks of it, of what I saw on the screen, looked just like several rows of cargo shipping containers. They're building a fuck ton of shipping containers that they're going to throw human beings into because they're immigrants. If that wasn't already horrifying enough to throw human beings into fucking containers, Florida had to Florida and be like, you know what, I'll do you one better. Not only are we going to make this disgusting fucking prison camp, but we're going to put it right in the Everglades next to all the fucking gators and joyfully refer to it as Alligator fucking Alcatraz. No, absolutely not. Just make it stop. Make it stop.
I do like that better. Alligator fucking Alcatraz. It has a nice ring to it.
We don't usually use that language, but it is 9:02. So it reminds me it's time for us to get out of here. We don't have to make sure you do follow our friends at TGI Now Podcast, CJ at the Spark Free Press, also Shattering the Narrative, IRC Media. These guys are on Twitter and on X. Well, they're on X and TikTok. I don't know everybody's freaking promotional things, but
we'll get it right one day.
If you are a local watcher, no show for the Board Report this week, which is our local show that covers local topics, whether it comes to hospital districts or school boards, city councils, you name it. There is a lot going on here in town, but it's 4th of July, so I don't know. You're not going to see us. Yeah. There may be a replay, there may not be, but we won't be doing a live show on any of the platforms on Friday night. Maybe a live, I don't know. Maybe if somebody's downtown or something, they go live, but give us some fireworks or something.
Well, sure.
I don't know. Maybe me and the kids will go down there. But anyways,
thank you for tuning in for episode 123.
123. And we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yep. Night.
We'll check the schedules and
thank you guys.
Say the flame to shout, make America great, tell them what it's about. Facts over feelings, cutting through the noise, fighting woke mobs and the kids with toys. They spew their lies, they spreading hate. Let's BS ain't gonna seal our fate. No nonsense here, just straight to the point. Truce to ammo in this battleground joint. Make America great again, stand and fight. Facts over feelings, day and night. Fight the woke mob, cancel their crying. Truth on the mic while they keep lying. They wanna cancel, they wanna control, but we got the truth, we breaking the mold. Speak your mind, don't let them bind. Words cut through sharper than a sword of kind.